So the Los Angeles Chargers moved to 2-0 on the preseason, and there's a lot to take away from yesterday's game. The first one being Trey Lance has clearly taken the lead for QB2. He made another strong impression, wasn't exactly incredible through the air to 7 of 14, which is 50%, took a couple of sacks. But with his legs, he led the Chargers in rushing, goes 7 for 48, 6.9 average, a touchdown, and a 17-yard run. Of course, when the Chargers were inside of the goal line, Lance used his legs to find the end zone. I thought he looked phenomenal, and Taylor Heineke simply did 1 for 5, 8 yards, took a sack. Heineke just hasn't looked that impressive so far, and Trey Lance certainly to me has the lead for QB2, and Lance is 25. He still has a lot of upside behind Herbert for that second quarterback spot. I've liked what I've seen out of Lance, man, to be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a backup quarterback. I think he's looked pretty good. Next on my list is we'll stick with the offense and then we'll go to the defense. I want to talk about Rocket Sanders, 10 for 42, a touchdown, had a couple of explosive runs. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him, and he's a guy who not really anyone was talking about coming into the preseason because Hassan Haskins is a lock to make the roster with his ability to play special teams. Kamani Vidal, of course, is a guy who probably is going to make the roster. And then Naeem Miller-Hines was signed. He's good on special teams. Certainly Marion Hampton and Najee Harris are going to be on the roster. So there's just not a lot of space. But Sanders has been so good in the preseason to where he's making a legit case. Like, I'd even go as far as saying that like he should make the roster. I mean, he's just looked explosive, and whenever he touches the ball, seems like something good's going to happen. Led all Charger running backs with 42 yards and a touchdown on 10 carries. Also had a catch for 11 yards. Hines did do a good job of pass protecting, did muff a fumble, lost one. The other one, thankfully, was able to die back on it. But there's just a lot of talented backs on the Chargers, and it's going to be interesting to see who ends up making it. But right now, I certainly would favor Hampton, Harris. Then I would go Sanders. Like, Haskins is going to make it because of special teams, not because of his ability as a running back. I mean, he did go 6 for 33. I'll give him that. Who knows, man? Like, the Chargers looking like they're going to probably carry 5 edge rushers. They could end up carrying a lot of running backs. I don't really know, to be honest. But when guys play well in camp and they play well in the preseason, then you have to certainly evaluate that. And speaking of that, is Eric Rogers. So we saw Nico Reed have an amazing play, just jumping a pass, of course, against the Lions. And now we see Eric Rogers, who's an undrafted cornerback out of Rutgers, which I'm going to have to fact check that. That's correct, right? He's so unknown that I don't even have that in my notes. I believe he's out of Rutgers. Or, yeah, I believe he's out of Rutgers. 2 interceptions. One of them was returned for a 43-yard touchdown. And after the game, Jim Harbaugh said that was as good of as a play as he's ever seen, like word for word. Rodgers did leave the game in the fourth quarter with an injury. He was seen with crutches after the game. But 2 picks. He also had a clutch pass deflection on third down. I'm trying to look back or remember the game. But yeah, he had a huge pass breakup as well that stalled out the Steelers. The Steelers stalled out the Saints' drive. I mean, they were in their own territory, but I thought it was a good play. He impressed me. The thing with the Chargers though is they have so many DBs. It's very similar to edge rushing. Is there's just so many defensive backs on this team. The obvious being Cam Hart, Tarheeb Still, and then of course you've got Dante Jackson, you've got St. Juice, and you got Taylor, and there's just a lot. Like Nico Reed has played well. It'll be again, it's just one of those things when the Chargers official roster comes out, you're gonna want to pay close attention to it. This team has probably the most depth in football, and we've been saying this all summer. Like even before camp even began, is the depth on this team is crazy. And watch out, I think the defense is gonna be even better. And yeah, we'll stick with. I was supposed to stick with the offense. Let's quickly touch upon the offense. There's one more name, and then we'll go to the defense. I thought Dale Von Campbell had an amazing game, despite the quarterback passing not being anything great. We saw him go out there, have 3 catches for 62 yards, had a 49-yard catch by DJ late in the game. He also converted a 2 point attempt from Lance. The Chargers went for it. They went for it 2. They kicked the extra point, and they decided to move it to the 1. Go for it, didn't get it, so they had to go for 2 to sort of get that point back. Campbell played well, and it always is a thing to recognize when a receiver plays well despite the passing game being this bad. And Jim Harbaugh did credit him after the game. He also credited Lance. He credited Kendall Williamson. He credited Caleb Murphy, Eric Rogers, Marlo Wax. I mean, where do we even begin? I mean, I think we got to dive in with what about RJ Mickens, a guy that Harbaugh didn't even talk about? I thought as an open field tackler, he was right up there with Williamson and Matt Wax, and these like they just the defense was phenomenal. The secondary wrapped up, deflected the ball. The defensive line dominated. I mean, the Saints just didn't have much of an answer for it, and the offense really wasn't anything special. The defense was the unit that really impressed me. It just put back to back good weeks together in the preseason. But yeah, Williamson did a good job tackling and on special teams. In terms of Wax, he actually led the team with tackles and he was just all over the place. He did a good job there. And then in terms of the defensive line, like I said, specifically at edge, so we know Khalil Mack, Tuli Tupelotu, Bud Dupree, and Kyle Kennard are going to make the roster. But Caleb Murphy was already dominant against the Lions, and now 2 sacks, a strip sack, of course, which includes that, which was the Chargers' first point of the game. It set that up. And just defensively, special teams, he's with the first team and coverage units. I mean, he's had a tackle in both of these preseason games and special teams. So Caleb Murphy looks like he's going to make the roster. And I'm trying to find the, yeah, I do have the quote. Here we go. So Harbaugh, after the game, said that he's making, quote, a very good case, end quote, for a spot in the 53-man roster. So now all of a sudden, certain positions seem set in stone, but because some of these guys are playing so well, that's not exactly the case. What a camp, what a preseason. I mean, there's still going to be a couple of games left, like the Chargers are going to play this weekend. But I like what I'm seeing out of this team, and they've just put together back-to-back dominating games. I mean, this one was a one-possession game, sort of late into it, but that's because the Chargers' offense was just flat out terrible, man. But I mean, you just look at the way the defense has played. It was already the lowest scoring defense, of course, last season. And now it just seems like they've gotten even better. I mean, against the Lions, of course, they end up giving up just 7 points, 13 against the Saints. Now they take on the Rams and the Niners. Be interesting to see if I don't think Stafford's going to be good to go. We're going to be playing in the game because he's hurt. But Brock Purdy, maybe it'd be cool to see them against the starting quarterback against one of these top teams. But they're just getting ready for Week 1 against the Chiefs, which is in Brazil. It's going to be prime time, man. It's gonna be full 5 p.m. right? East Coast is gonna be at 8 p.m. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Mahomes played a drive in his preseason game against the Cardinals and scored a touchdown, so he looks like he's in midseason form. So the Chargers are gonna have to bring it. I think the defense once again will be able to take this team places. The question is the offense and how much better is it than last year? I think it's gonna be a lot better because the running backs that they brought in, and then the addition of Keenan Allen and the addition of certainly Trey Harris and Keandre Lambert-Smith early on had a ball right to his chest from Heineke. Wasn't able to bring it in. I thought that was a little disappointing. I mean, the DB did get his hand down last second, but I would have liked that catch. Ronnie Gadsden had a couple of catches. He's a guy that I'm hoping can sort of get up to speed here. Like Disley and Conklin, like just kind of two dudes to me. I'd like to see Gadsden to step up and be a playmaker. Another weapon for Herbert. Oh yeah, there is one thing that I want to talk about that's negative. So I mentioned how I didn't think the offense was good. A large reason for that is the interior was bad. And I don't think anybody's surprised by that. The interior was horrible last season. I think it's even worse now. I mean, all of a sudden, with Rashawn Slater being out for the season, Trey Pipkins has to step up and play right tackle. That is a huge drop off. You can't have a bigger drop off from going from an all pro player, like as good as it gets, when healthy, probably the best in the game, to Trey Pipkins. It's an absolute nightmare. It's like going from Justin Herbert to Trey Lance. Like I like Lance and I'm praising him, but like that's not going to get it done. So the Chargers are going to have to figure something out with the interior line because I thought they struggled blocking, but especially against stunts, like it just wasn't pretty at all. Like they're going to get Herbert killed. Just getting like PTSD from the Texans game, just freaking ridiculous.